Okay, this question is given 2 points, write the equation of the line through them. And this is good practice because it really brings together a lot of the properties about lines that you should know. And if you are having trouble with the ideas of slope, intercepts, slope-intercept form, what the equation of a line is, please give me an email or a call, and I would be happy to explain all this stuff to you and work with you so that you start to understand it, because it's a really important idea. But in this, we're just going to be using a few things. So the first thing you should know is the definition of slope, right? It's rise over run, but typically, its slope is typically the variable m. So we denote slope m, and the formal definition is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, where x1 and y1 are points, so you have something like x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. Okay. So these are 2 points in our case. We could call either of these x1, y1, or x2, y2. So why don't we just say this one's the first one. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so let's plug it into our formula here for slope. So we'll get -3 minus, sorry, that's wrong. So that's 1 minus -3 is +3. So that's 1 minus -3 plus 3. And then x, we get -3 minus 3. Okay, so let's see what that equals. That's 4 over -6 equals -2/3. Okay, so that's our slope. And for slope-intercept form, we need something y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept. So far we have y equals mx plus b, and we can fill in m, and that's -2/3. And now we need to solve for b. And the way to solve for b is to plug in either of these points, or any point on the line, in fact, and solve for where b is. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's choose a point. How about the first one, -3, 1. So let's write -3 here, and 1 here. Okay, and then you see that we just have b left, so we'll solve for that. So the negatives here become positive, right? Negative times the negative is positive, and the 3 on top and the 3 on bottom, that cancels out. So 3 times 2/3 should just be, well, you can see it's in 6/3, which is 2. So the whole thing's just 2. Okay, so now let's subtract the 2 from both sides, so we get b equals -1. Okay, so again, we wanted the form y equals mx plus b, where y equals -2/3 x minus 1. So we solve for m and we solve for b. And let's see if that's our solution. We can, how do we do that? Sorry, here we go. Show correct answer. Okay, so that looks like my answer. So y equals -2/3 x minus 1. And again, if you don't quite understand what happened here, we solve for slope. And if you don't know how to do this, please shoot me an email, because this is important. And then we plugged in one of the points. We plugged in our value for slope, and we plugged in one of our points into this equation to solve for b, because that would give us b when we just plug in for x and y, and m will just be left with b. And that's all we did.